Good morning. This is my second episode of me giving you international news. I hope you're enjoying my news. And if you're enjoying, please leave a comment. Kama kuna kitu naona tunaweza improve, pia niachia comment hapo ndio tuweze kuiangalia. So as we go ahead, let us look at what is happening around the world. First, we are going to look at in the US. The US is saying that they are going to be imposing 50% tariffs on the Canadian products. This is because they are saying the Canadians are discriminating against their products. As you know, when Trump got into power back in 2024, yes, looks like just yesterday, looks like 2025 or this year. There are so many things that are happening. So when he got in power in 2024, he came up with a lot of tariffs for every country. So he imposed a lot of tariffs. So most of the countries are adapting to his tariffs, and most of them are looking at the US as a threat, including the Europe, the Canadians, the Chinese, the Russians. Of course, Russians have been sanctioned for too long, so they do not even feel the effect of it. Also, the African countries have also been sanctioned. So he's saying that he's going to be imposing an extra 50% tariff on Canadian products just because the Canadians are discriminating against the products of the US. This is like telling the US people, the Canadians, that if you do not accept United States products, you're going to make sure that your products become too expensive for the people of the US to consume, so the people of the US will stop consuming your products, and that might at least make them not to buy them, so you're going to lose them the United States markets. On the other hand, we see that China is dominating the AI world. At least they are now exporting more AI hardware more than the US can. They're also exporting more chips than the US has ever done. So if you look at it, the US can have the most advanced chips, but China is exporting more and is doing business with what they have. So the Chinese are dominating the AI world. The US has not been so good in doing the hardware. They are just doing the software, exporting the technology and everything else. So the China is building the hardware. So China now is catching up with the US, even including the software, by they exporting the AI chips, and that is extremely devastating for the US economy. For instance, I could see that they're even exporting robots that you can just sit on it like a horse, and it will carry you. It is walking, its legs are stable, so it can carry heavyweight products. That seems that the warehouses are going to be replacing people with such of these, some of these things, and it is a threat to workforce, as well as the United States dominance, the USA dominance in the AI industry. In another news, there is a Mexican cartel that has been sentenced to life sentence in the USA. The Mexican kingpin Mayo Zambada, sentenced to life sentence for selling tons, that is thousands and thousands of tons of cocaine to the USA. He admitted to his guilt in the New York, and now he's being sentenced to death. These are the people who have dominated the markets for long. They have caused havoc both in the Mexico and the USA, because once those cartels now start expanding, they build their territories. They want to build that networks. You find that they have people who are making the drugs in the Mexico, or even exporting through Mexico, bringing it to the US. They also have networks in the US who are selling it to the people of the USA. So when the FBI and other investigative bodies in the USA now start looking for them, they start looking them from the USA now going backwards, so that they can get who they are. So El Mayo, that is Zambada, was sentenced to death because of selling a lot of drugs to the US. Also, when these people get their hands into the money that flows through drug sales, they become something else. They become just beasts, and they want to control a lot of things. As I was saying yesterday in the news, I said that people do not get satisfied by what they get. They just want to expand more and more and more. That's why you find that this man was able to sell millions and millions of kgs of cocaine into the USA. So You can see he's a big person. Even if he's sentenced to death, he has left a long chain of other sellers who might not be controlled. When you look at the war in Iran between the US and Iran, and all these wants now to get into the war, and they are saying that they are going to be controlling. They are saying that they are going to be sanctioning Saudi Arabia. What does it mean by saying that? By sanctioning Saudi Arabia, they are saying that they are going to be blocking the another strait that connects Saudi Arabia to the Red Sea. And if they do that, Saudi Arabia will not be importing most of its products. This means that all these are going to be shooting down commercial vessels that are going to be trying to connect to the Red Sea, because once they blocked the Strait of Hormuz, the Red Sea became another major pathway whereby they are going to be carrying their products through, and through that, all these are saying that now to help Iran and to make the USA to hear and listen to what they are saying, they are going to be carrying now sanctions towards Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia, sells a lot of products for the USA companies, and that means that the USA is thriving while it's fighting with Iran. While Iran is deteriorating because they are not selling a lot of their products, they have been given blockade. There are a lot of things that are going in there. So all these are coming in because they are like now they are the strongest friends of the Iran that are remaining in the Middle East. So they are saying that they are going to be imposing a blockade now for the Saudi Arabians. So let us see how that unfolds. In other news, the USA has released the names of the two servicemen who were killed. One is 19 years and the other one is 25. I'll be attaching them here so that you can see them. So these are some of the things that we should be looking at. I was listening to the news yesterday, and there was someone dissecting the impact of this war in the Iran and the USA. He was saying that the economy of the USA is not hit hard. Also, the people of the USA, they are not touched a lot. However, when you look at Iran is being hit hard economically, and even the number of casualties that they are getting. The only difference is that for Iran, they can survive the number of murder as a lot people being a lot more people being murdered almost every day compared to the USA, because when the USA two servicemen are killed, they try to push and shoot as many people in as many infrastructure in the Iran as they can, just to saying that they are going to be revenging for the people who are killed. So you find that the number of people who are killed in the US service, it sounds like it's more just because of how they exaggerate the numbers. When you look at the numbers, or the number of dozens of people are being killed in Iran, it is too much or too huge for it to be ignored. So you find that the Iran have, I don't know how I'm going to put it that it can be sensitive, but Iran can absorb a huge number of people being killed compared to the number of the USA can accommodate. So that's why this war is more of hurting Iran more and USA more, but the people who are crying and complaining a lot, they are the people from the USA, because the USA do not know how to take the losses for their people who are being subjected to these deaths, and the death tolls, when they increase, it becomes so dangerous for the politician in the USA and anywhere else. When you go to the Europe, Zelensky and Putin, they are also fighting, and we saw that Ukraine yesterday shot another online store. It is called Wildberries. This is like the Amazon of the Russia, whereby they stock a lot of online products and they sell online products. So when the Ukraine now shoots that online store, it means that it kills a huge store in the Russia, and it affects the economy of the Russians. Looking at the news, I saw that there are people who are injured, including some 3 to 5 Chinese nationals, and this might cause or call for the people of Chinese now to start talking about this war, because it is going too far. Let us see how that goes. Otherwise, I'd say that when the Zelensky had shut down one of the Wildberries centers, or one of the Wildberries branches in Russia. Russia responded by raining ballistic missiles into Kyiv, and while the people of Kyiv are feeling the heat, they also want Zelensky to keep responding so that they can force Vladimir Putin to listen to them. Another thing is about, there is a farm in the USA that is selling vegetables, that is the lettuce or lettuce or however you call them. When you eat them, you induce explosive diarrhea. This is, the farmers are saying that when they are planting these vegetables, they are putting in a parasite that when you ingest it into your stomach, it induces that kind of diarrhea so that you can lose weight. For people who lose weight, some take tea, others take lemon in the morning, others reduce their meals, others go to the gym. But in the USA, they do not want to do that job, so they are finding ways to do it. So the farm is called Taylor Farm in the USA. It's planting lettuce, which is now which is diced with this kind of parasite that when you ingest it, the parasite now, when it interacts with the intestines and everything in your stomach, it introduces or it induces explosive diarrhea. It's funny, but this is something that has forced now FDA to come in and start investigating the extent of which the harm this parasite can cause, because many people are taking it in and it is making them to diarrhea a lot. You know, sometimes when you diarrhea a lot, you lose a lot of water. You also lose the urge to eat, and it might cause starvation at the same time while you are dehydrating. So they are looking at it, and since people now are trying to increase the number of people who are taking it, it was becoming dangerous, because people are always now looking for ways to reduce their weight gain. So this lettuce from the Taylor Farm is becoming a menace in the USA because it is being sold a lot and people want to lose weight fast. And since these are quick fix or fix it quick solution, now the FDA had to get in and start looking at it. And then other news stated that the Tate brothers were arrested. So Tristan and Andrew Tate now and the source in Miami, following investigation towards the more claims that are coming in that they have been involved in more sex offenses and sex trafficking. So we are still following to see how it is going. After Miami, they should be repatriated to the UK so that they can be now judged from the other side of the world. That is from the European countries, that is the United States of the Britain. So let us see how that goes. So I also said that, I also introduced yesterday, said that the Burnham, the new Prime Minister of the UK, took over yesterday on Monday. And the first thing that he said that he's going to review the policies. He's going to be setting 10 years target for the UK to achieve. And his first is going to be putting to hold the digital card. I think so. Digital card, so that now people do not be forced to do so many other things. Instead, it's going now to be reviving economy by reviving industrialization and also introducing policies that is going to boost economy of the UK. Let us see how it goes, because people are also skeptical about his leadership, because he was just merely chosen the MP of his region, and by that virtue, he became the leader of the majority, that is the Labour Party, and by that virtue also he became the Prime Minister. In the UK, you don't have, most of the time when they are transitioning, when they are not doing the general election, that is, for instance, when one Prime Minister is getting out of the seat and leaving it for the other, they do not have to do general elections. They just have to appoint the leader of the majority party, that is now the Labour Party, which controls the House. Just like when you come back to a country, the president or the leader who controls, like the party with the majority of the MPs, now becomes the president of Kenya. That is if we are in the UK. So in the UK, the party that has the majority of people in the House of Commons now becomes the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister also has the power to appoint the Chancellor to lead the country. So Burnham I think it's called Brandy Burnham is appointed the Chancellor of the UK. They also are constituting the cabinet, so we are going to be following to see how it advances, and we are going to be giving updates as we go. Another side is in the Central America, whereby there is a country called Nicaragua. The president of Nicaragua, that is Daniel Ortega, is saying that they are going to abolish voting henceforth. So this is like for him trying to create favorable terms for him now to stay in the seat for as long as he can. So Ortega has been ruling alongside his wife. So the country of Nicaragua has had this president now who is the present president. Now he is going to abolish electioneering in his country, which means that he's going to be able to rule for as long as he lives, or he feels like now he can get out of that seat. Of course, there will be some chaos. Of course, because of him not trying to cling into the wall, they are going to into the seat. Him trying to cling on the seat, there is going to be a lot of chaos, wars, and even political struggles. We are going to be following that and giving you updates as they come. And I hope that things are going to look good to him. On the other side, the people of Ukraine are also demonstrating because of one of the people in the army who was made to resign. That is Mr. Let me read this name because it's extremely difficult. Zelensky is facing a huge force by the Ukrainians who are demonstrating on the streets. Remove Ukraine's top general. That is, the general in question is Mr. Oleksandr Syrskyi, who led the defense minister Mykhailo Fedorov to be fired. So these are the top generals in the Ukraine army who have been fighting against the Russian invasion. Yes, you can see they have been doing very well. So they are saying that Mykhailo was the one who was leading the revolution. And since the war now is looking so good, is favoring the Ukraine more than the Russian, they feel like Mykhailo should not be taken out of the position right now. He should remain there and hold back the Russians and also continue the advantage that they have over the Russians. So let us see how that goes, because as you can see now, he's conceding to the pressure and he's trying now to either to convince the Syrskyi to accept that Mykhailo should be in the force and continue doing it. Otherwise, he can also give him another seat in the cabinet to lead in the political side. Though Mykhailo is showing no signs of accepting that kind of post. But let us see how the people does, because this movement, the protest, also being joined by the retirees, or it's called the war veterans in the Ukraine. That is a lot of force for Zelensky, and he might be forced now to concede to the demands of the people and push this man away and accept that they can always either agree or all of them they go. Let us see how that goes. Otherwise, that is as much as they have for now. I'll be updating you more frequently. If there is something that you think that you should be improving going forward, please talk to us and we are going to be doing it. The Spaniards, after winning the World Cup, they managed to go back to their country, and they were received melodiously, and things are looking good for them. Hope we see better and better World Cup going forward. See you in the next news.